This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program News Analysis, now we bring you a discussion on Prime Minister's address to tax administrators at Rajaswa Gyan Sangam. The participants are Paramjeet Khanna, expert on taxation, and Siddharth Singh, journalist.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while inaugurating the Rajaswa Gyan Sangam, asked the tax officials to incorporate a sense of urgency and measurability in their performance. He asked them to fix clear targets to improve the country's tax administration by 2022. Mr. Khanna, what was the main theme of Prime Minister's address to the tax officials?
The main theme of the Prime Minister in Rajaswa Gyan Sangam has been addressing all the administration levels of the state and the central government for the direct tax officials as well as indirect tax officials, especially with the transparency being brought in by the introduction and the implementation of GST in a roaring success across the board, where the revenue has risen to a very impressive figure of 93,000 odd crores, which is comparable on the higher side on a month-to-month basis. I would find that he is now attacking at the work culture of the officials. The administration of the justice is equally important. What is actually in the mind of the Prime Minister is that where the laws have been turning transparent, he would be more influenced by the efficacy of the laws. Now, the efficacy of law is trying to find out how it is effective to produce the desired results. Now, whether the law implementers are able to implement it in the truest of the spirit. In fact, he says you improve your work culture and introduce a sense of urgency and measurability in your performance. In fact, you should be having change in your attitude itself, not try to be exacting through Inspector Raj or trying to delay the process. Probably you have to be more expeditious in the reforms. Also try to implement it at a fast-track basis. Try to move the machinery so that the implementation of law yields its desired success.
We also saw that the Prime Minister very clearly stated that the honest taxpayer should be encouraged, he should be respected, while those who are tax evaders, the tax officials should go after them. They should be tracked and punished. So what exactly was he trying to convey to the tax officials?
The motto of the Prime Minister is loud and clear: shatter the confidence of the corrupt and instill the confidence of the honest. In fact, the dishonest taxpayers should be a thing of the past. What the Prime Minister is addressing the tax officials and the administrators is that there has been a host of measures to wipe out the parallel black economy. The demonetization was an event. The black money reforms was an event. The Digital India is an event. The Benami Property Act is an event. And series of more events are in the offing. For example, or your Paytm, in fact, all the utility bills should be encouraged to be paid through account pay systems. In fact, there have been a host of measures in the Income Tax Act whereby cash transactions are being prohibited, if not discouraged. Any transaction more than 2 lakhs, any expenditure more than 10,000, any loans or deposits in excess of prescribed limits, all cash transactions are going to be brought into the computerized system, and well as, in fact, I would say even your GST is such a transparent. Within this 2 months, I already repeated, 17 new lakh assessees have come in. And the Prime Minister says we do not stop there. Even for the small traders where the turnover is not exceeding 20 lakhs, he has addressed the administrators to design such a system which can bring into the purview of the GSTs net all such small traders.
The Prime Minister says honest taxpayers should be encouraged, should be respected. There is a feeling that even honest taxpayers, somehow they also fear the income tax authorities. So is he saying that you need to bring about a change in your work culture or in the way they behave or their behavior or their interaction with the people?
The Prime Minister has put a target. He has requested the officers to fix clear targets to improve the country's tax administration by 2022, which year coincides with the 75th anniversary of the independence of our country. What he has said is that the Union government is working towards creation of an environment which shatters the confidence of the corrupt and instills the confidence and trust among the honest taxpayer. In fact, you should also look at the views of the assessment. Now, in the case of the assessment, the e-assessment, or rather the electronic assessment, is more friendly to the taxpayer, and he wants to abolish all kinds of interface with the tax officers. To put it in a simple word, a true electronic assessment means anonymity in proceedings using technology. That means the officer who is assessing is not meeting physically the person who is assessing. So therefore, neither the assessee nor the assessing officer need to know each other or look at each other or find each other physically, and everything is done through the technology, which is the electronic system. Whatever requirements the assessing officer needs for the completion of his assessment within the powers of the Income Tax Act, he sends an email or an electronic message to the assessee, and the assessee in all his wisdom compiles all the data, uploads it on the electronic system under his web page, probably using his digital signatures for secrecy, and therefore the e-assessment gets completed. This would not involve any interface, and a total electronic assessment would naturally reduce corruption from all quarters, at all levels, and in all ranges, which is the desired effect of the efficacy of the law. Now, therefore, the law is going to treat the honest taxpayer with full compliance, and in fact, the fear factor of the corrupt practices is going to vanish.
Mentioning the benefits of the GST, the Prime Minister said that besides economic integration of the country and bringing about a transparency in the system, more than 17 lakh new traders were brought into the indirect tax system within 2 months. He said that in order to enable all traders to take maximum benefit of GST, we should work towards ensuring that all traders, including those even small traders who have a turnover of below 20 lakhs, also should register with the GST. He asked the officers to make efforts in this regard by designing a system for this category also. Mr. Khanna, what is the kind of message when Prime Minister is saying that even small traders do not fall in the GST ambit as of now? Why is he saying that even they should be registered under GST?
Designing of the systems have to be oriented towards the need of the assessees. Now, those who are above 20 lakhs are already covered and registered. A small trader, the character of a small trader is that he need not be probably very computer friendly. He may not know how to operate a computer. Yet, he is part of the unified code of the sale transactions. And therefore, a more friendlier, more elastic, or more kind of a seasoned system needs to be evolved, which is need-based to the character of such small taxpayers. Therefore, the cost of collection of the GST is going to result that the indigenous markets, which are beyond the control of the GST officials, also gets reduced and shrunk. In fact, India is going to be a super India in the sense that there is going to be a unified market all over the India. It is going to have a very large congratulatory effect on the tax administration as well as transparency. The economy is going to be loaded with so many of bulk savings because the taxes on taxes are going down. The cascading effect of earlier taxes, your VAT, your octroi, so many ad valorem duties, has all been merged into a unitary revenue neutral rate. And therefore, that is a magic which must be extended not only to the organized sector, but also to the unorganized sector, less than 20 lakhs, small traders, not computer friendly, need to be addressed on a separate platform.
Post demonetization, we saw that the Department of Income Tax sent a lot of e-notices. For the first time, they tried to bring down the human interface, and instead there were notices which were sent on emails to the people whom they suspected have deposited large sum of unaccounted money. Taking a cue from there or moving forward, the Prime Minister in his interaction with the tax officials at the Rajas Gyan Sangam asked them to give a push to e-assessment and anonymity of proceedings so that more and more use of technology and less of human interaction. So what is the intention behind this, Mr. Khanna?
The intention is compliance. Now, electronic compliance is far better than non-electronic compliance. Now, if you talk about a human compliance is open to error. and delay and procrastination and probably absence of compliance. Sometimes human interfaces leads to corruption and ways and means of avoiding the law or mitigating the real impact of taxation. In fact, the Prime Minister is moving towards digital India. The cash transactions are going to be minimized. So everything comes on the system. Now, with the demonetization, a lot of cash has been deposited. All that cash has come back. As per RBI reporting, 99% of the SDMs, the specified denomination notes, have come back into the banking channels. Even barring about the 1%, which may not be traceable at the moment or which may have been lying in cooperative banks or with the NRIs or not able to come to India, I would look at the whole problem being sorted out in the sense that now the Income Tax Department has an intelligence unit, and that intelligence unit has a big database of the cash being coming in. Therefore, on another forum, the Prime Minister has been put on record to say that the income tax intelligence must look at data analytics. Now, what is data analytics? Data analytics is nothing but looking at a database of financial data to look at the compliance of tax laws. Now, would you find whether the income commensurate with the cash deposit is available on record or not? A person is depositing, let us say, 7 or 8 or 10 lakhs of the specified denomination notes through cash medium into his bank account. Now, the department had prescribed a special column in the income tax returns where he is supposed to say how much cash is deposited in excess of 2 lakhs of rupees. Now, that's not just enough. What we have to further see, rather than income tax intelligence, to look at the database, if a person who has deposited 10 lakhs cash in his account, what is commensurate with his income tax return? The Income Tax Department, with all its intelligence and data analytics, should try to collate the data, analyze the data, and coordinate and synchronize it with the tax base. Now, if the person who has deposited 7, 8 or 10 lakhs cash and he has not filed any tax return, or if he has filed a tax return, it is just marginal or minimal or just 3 lakhs or 3 lakhs 10,000 on which he has hardly paid any tax, that has to be matched, and the source of that cash must be inquired in according to the standard operating procedure available with the officers.
The Prime Minister also expressed his unhappiness on the huge pendency because he said a huge amount of taxes are logged in these disputes, and if they were resolved quickly, that money could have come into the system and could be used for the welfare of the poor people.
Absolutely correct. In fact, here the Prime Minister is not too happy about it. In fact, he has categorically mentioned and requested that a specific action plan to be evolved, which is a time-bound solution to tax raised and not realized. Now, it's very easy to raise a tax demand, and then it is getting locked up into appeals and adjudication. What the Prime Minister says, please carry out a reality check in your house to find out and ascertain whether a litigation is worth following or not. With this concept, a lot of circulars have been issued, and the tax effect of certain 10 lakhs has been raised to 20 lakhs, where the demands are not exceeding a particular limit. The departmental does not press the appeal. The appeal stands withdrawn. Again, circulars have been issued on vexatious issues, for example, your Vodafone or MAT, minimum alternate tax, variety of other sections. The amnesty has been granted. But the point doesn't stop there. What is required is the tax raised and the tax realized. There's a big gap. And that money which is locked up in litigation needs to be either make it a zero or have it collected.
We hope both the direct and the indirect taxes, the tax administrators fix clear targets to improve the tax administration by 2022. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Prime Minister's address to tax administrators at Rajaswa Gyan Sangam. The participants were Paramjeet Khanna, expert on taxation, and Siddharth Singh, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsttalks@gmail.com.